ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern is joining us now, and he's here to tell us that we had a very quiet day on Wall Street. Richard.
Haley, you're absolutely right, and so much for a huge Wall Street reaction to last night's debate. I'm afraid it was basically a non-reaction. The biggest move we saw by any of the three indices we follow was less than 1/4%. Now, we did have a 120-point range top to bottom. The Dow was down 76 points at the low. It was up by 20-some points at the high. But at the end of the day, as you'll see, the end result, debate or not, was pretty much nothing at all. Let's take a look at the final figures. There you see the Dow, and that's the biggest move of the day, down 22/100%. That's down 40 points at 18,162.35 on volume of 709 million shares. The Nasdaq down not even 1/10%, 4.5 points at 5,241.83. That on volume of 1,616 million shares. And the S&P down as well, just a little over 1/10%, less than 3 points at 2,141.34. Well, for years, American Express has said, don't leave home without it. Well, guess what? Many of you are listening because American Express announced much better than anticipated earnings. Revenues were higher. Earnings per share went up substantially. They earned $1.20 a share in the quarter versus what had been the Wall Street consensus of just 97 cents a share. The company also said they're looking for a substantial increase in earnings next year. And all of this despite the fact that American Express and Costco went separate ways. If you shop at Costco, you now know you can only use your Visa card. But that being said, American Express apparently is coming out the other side just about okay. And I say that because their stock today, which is part of the Dow, is up by more than 9%. So that's a big move for a big company.
And Richard, you also have some late news on Microsoft.
Talking about a big company, I guess so. And this was after the close, so you're going to see the results of it tomorrow. But Microsoft, much like what we saw with American Express, came out with much better than expected earnings. So you could be seeing a pretty strong Friday thanks to MSFT.
All right, Richard, thank you so much for the update.
You're welcome.